Hi, my name is Dharnaja and you're watching Brain Security. We are solving the advent of cyber by TryHackMe, and today is the final day. And the topic for today is exploitation with curl, Operation Exploit. Let's get started with the story. According to Blue Team Intel, the wormhole is held open by a control panel on the Evil Bunny's web server. The team must shut it down first to cut off reinforcement before facing King Malhare. However, the terminal they have is bare. No Burp Suite, no browser, just a command prompt. But that's fine. The team will use the command line and curl to speak HTTP directly, send requests, read responses, and find the endpoints that shut the portal. Learning objectives: understand what HTTP requests and responses are at a high level, use curl to make basic requests using GET and view raw responses in the terminal, send post requests with curl to submit data to endpoints, and work with cookies and sessions in curl to maintain log state across requests. We have an attack box and target machine both today. Let us first see what task 2 is about. HTTP request using curl. Applications like our browsers communicate with servers using HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Think of HTTP as language for asking a server for resources such as pages, images, JSON data, and getting answers back. Very basic thing that governs how our websites work. The protocol that makes our websites work. You send out a request, the web server gets it and sends you back some images or any JSON data or the HTML code to render the front page. So if you want to access a website, your browser sends an HTTP request to the web server. If the request is valid, the server replies with an HTTP response that contains the data needed to display the particular website. In the absence of a browser, you can still speak to HTTP directly from the command line, right? The browser is just for us normal users and users to actually interact with the complex systems. But as a developer or as an IT person, you can use curl as well to get the raw data. You do not need fancy CSS or JavaScript to ensure that you're able to work with a website. Curl is enough for you. The simplest way is curl. Curl is a command line tool for crafting HTTP requests and viewing raw responses. It's ideal when you need precision or when GUI tools aren't available. Trying out curl. Yes, now we gotta start our machine. Let us go to the introduction, attack box, and target machine as well. Let the machine load. Once you have the attack box ready, open the command prompt and run the following command, curl to the particular IP address. What happens after running the command is that curl sends an HTTP GET request for the site's homepage. An HTTP response is received containing the body, which is then printed in the terminal. Because this is a terminal, instead of rendering a web page, what you'll see is text representation of the page in HTML. It gives you the raw output that the particular server sends to the client. Sending post requests. Now, I think we should brush up over the types of HTTP requests. This is the core architecture of the client server communication. The client sends out the HTTP request, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and the server processes a request and gives you the suitable response back. Now, there are different methods as to which this particular request is given out. Let us see these four major requests. First is get, post, put, and delete. Delete, as it says, you delete the particular data from the server. Get is for retrieving data from the server. Post is to add to an existing file. And put is to update. In post, you append to whatever existing file or resource is there, and in put, you kind of change it, right? You update or replace an existing file on the server. Then we have patch, update a resource partially or just modify. Now we are focusing on post method, HTTP post method through curl command. I think the machine would be loaded. Yes. And let us see. Let us first run this first curl command. Welcome to curl practice server. Try to send a post request to slash post php. That is what we are going to do here. Curl x post d username is equals to user and password is also user. Let us see what happens. We gotta paste invalid credentials. You should get the reply invalid credentials. What's happening here? X post tells curl to use the post method. D defines the data we're sending in the body of the request. The data will be sent in the URL encoded format, which is the same as what HTML forms use. If the application expects additional fields like a login button or a CSRF token, they can be included too. If a particular application expects some additional fields like login or CSRF token, so why does a particular application might require CSRF token? It is because to prove the legitimacy of the user. Like, what is CSRF? It stands for cross-site request forgery. So what happens in this particular attack is that whenever you visit a particular website, and if that site is under the CSRF attack, as soon as you visit the website, there might be some unknown activity happening by your name on some another malicious website. That is called as cross-site request forgery. And you are not aware of what things are happening in your name or your resources. So when you send a request to the server, it expects that you send the CSRF token claiming that I am the person who is making this request and I am authentic. When we use the curl command, we need to explicitly send our CSRF token. The browser automatically sends them with curl. We have to send it with our command. Okay, so this is what this particular command says, and let me just copy paste that. It still says invalid credentials and submit login and HTTP post here. To view exactly what the server returns, including headers and potential redirects, add the I flag. Okay, now we also got the headers, right? We saw HTTP, we got a status code of 200, date, the server, and content length, type, text HTML, character set, UTF-8. If the site responds with a set cookie header, that's a good sign. It means you successfully logged in or at least triggered a session. That did happen with us. Once you log in, web application use cookies to keep your session active. When you make another request with your browser, that cookie gets sent automatically. But with curl, you need to handle it yourself. Save the cookies. This thing didn't happen anyways. Let me see if this happens. It just said invalid credentials. Still, it says invalid credentials. The C option writes any cookies received from the server into this file. You'll often see the cookies like this. So far, we haven't been able to log in through either just sending out the CSRF token or login things or even cookies or sessions. Now we are going to try out brute force attack to log in, because over here it said you need to first log in using post, and then probably you can get inside the system. Please log in first by posting to this page. So let us go here and start by creating a file called passwords.txt. We say touch. Now we will write using nano and place the following passwords. We will say nano passwords.txt, right? And we will say admin123, admin123. I'm gonna do Control O, enter Control X, and wanna check if my file is ready using cat command. Yes, we have written successfully. For then, create a simple bash loop to try each password against bruteforce.php and copy paste the following code inside of it. Same thing, we are going to do touch loop.sh, then we will do nano loop.sh, and inside we're just going to simply copy paste this bash script provided to us, and Control O, enter Control X, and finally then execute permission. We will chmod or change mode plus x loop sh. This is completely Linux based thing. There are different kind of permissions given to different users in a Linux system, and chmod is used to give you a write, read. Basically, those kind of permissions are given or taken away from you based on what your admin decides. Now we are in the root. That is why we are able to change the mode of the particular script. If not, we would have to get into the root and then we can carry out this particular operation. Then we do dot slash loop dot sh, dot slash loop dot sh. And we found the password using brute force and it was secret pass. Now, here's how this works. Reads each password from the file, correct, sends the login request, suddenly no progress meter. The response is stored in a variable. Grep q checks if a response contains a success string. Then when found, it prints the working command and exits the loop. This exact methods underpins tools like Hydra, Burp Intruder, and WFuzz. By doing it manually, and you understand what's happening under the hood, a repetitive HTTP post with variable data waiting for a different response. Bypassing user agent checks. Some application block curl by checking the user agent header. In one of the previous rooms, we also saw what user agent is. User agent is nothing but a parameter. A particular browser declares that, hey, I am Chrome, hey, I am Mozilla, hey, I am. So that way, the server knows that, okay, I'm talking to a well known and authenticated browser, and it is not some random attacker trying out a script from his machine, right? That is what user agent header is. For example, the server may reject request with user agent curl x dot 7 dot x dot x. To specify a custom user agent, we can use the flag A. We have internal computer. Let me copy paste this command here and see what happens. HTTP here. Welcome to internal computer. To confirm the check, we go here. Blocked only internal computer user agents are allowed. Yes, we didn't explicitly specify a user agent over here, so it gave us this error. Welcome to internal computer again. Now, if the first fails and the second succeeds, the US check is working and you have bypassed it by spoofing. Bonus mission, this section is optional and applies only to the final bonus question. The instruction this section do not apply to the regular questions. Feel free to skip it and proceed with the regular questions if you don't intend to attempt it. Before the final battle can begin, the wormhole must be closed to stop enemy and reinforcement. The evil Easter bunnies operate a web control panel that holds it open. The blue team must identify endpoints, authenticate and obtain the operator token, and call the close operation. Hint: use rock.text when brute forcing for the password, only for bonus mission. The pin between this and this server is over here. Make a post request to the slash endpoint with the username admin and password. What is the flag you receive? All right, for the first question, we'll have curl hyphen x post. Method is post and backslash. We do have backslash, right? Let me just quickly check it. Post. No, we do not need it. D, that is the data we send. That is username, or it's just user. It is username is equals to admin, and password is also equals to admin. And you're gonna send it to this endpoint. Paste, enter. Send post data like username is equals to admin and password is equals to admin. Post. Yes. Curl post success. Make a request to slash cookie.php endpoint with username admin and password admin and save the cookie. Reuse that saved cookie at the same endpoint. What is the flag that you receive? We need to make the request over here. As said before, username and password will be admin and we need to save the cookie. We did that over here. Yes, but we have to do it to cookie.txt, the endpoint. Login successful cookie set, and later we need to reuse that particular cookie. This will be cookies.txt. Let me see cat cookies.txt. We do have something here. Let us check cookie.php. And yes, welcome back, admin. DHM cookie session cookie master copy. After doing the brute force on slash brute force.php endpoint, what is the password for the admin user? Secret pass. Make a request to slash agent.php endpoint with the user agent tbfc. What is the flag that you receive? Where did that user agent thing go? Here, curl a and slash agent. Curl hyphen a user agent is tbfc to the endpoint agent.php. We got it. Conclusion. The final battle commences with the wormhole closed. King Malhare no longer had access to his reinforcement. Mexicity looked to her fellow Wareville town members. The king would only be vulnerable for a moment. The time to strike was now. Charge! Mexicity exclaimed. Mexicity and the townspeople of Wareville began unloading a barrage of snowballs on the king's bunny battalion. They quickly returned fire with egg projectiles. The skyline became a blur of snowballs and eggs, and Mexkitty used this moment of chaos to sneak into King's throne room. Just as Mexkitty was about to gain entry, a voice stopped her. Not so fast, giggled Sir Carbon. He slowly approached Mexkitty, who suddenly felt underprepared. Just when she thought she was out of luck, Sir Breach Blocker 3 stepped in front of her. Go, he simply said. What are you doing? Sir Caramel shuddered. What I should have done a long time ago. What's right? Sir Breechblocker 3 slammed his shield into the snow and drew his sword. Go, he shouted, turning to Mexkitty. The end of the road. Mexkitty seized the moment and ran into Kingston room where she found King Malhare throwing a tantrum. Where are my reinforcements? They are not coming, Malhare, Mexkitty affirmed. It's over, wherever is ours. Now let's see how you like being captive now. As she shouted, two Bevel Town members branched the cage on the king. It was over, thanks in large part to your efforts. Mexkitty has been freed and King Malhare had finally been stopped. Weville was safe once again. The king was dethroned and sent to Hopsec prison along with the co-conspirator Sir Carrot Bane. Sir Breach Broccoli was pardoned for his part in stopping the king's tyrannical plan and later became King Breach Blogger. Congratulations for finishing the Advent of Cyber and saving the day. From all of us at TryHackMe, we have a Merry Sockmas and a Happy New Year. And we're finally done with the advent of cyber, and it took 24 days of consistency, but we finally made it. So yes, congratulations.